This season is probably the most unhinged one from this new era so far. From all the crazy outbursts to the failed idols, it is just everything you want in a messy season. There's a lot to cover in this penultimate episode, including our final winner predictions, but before we dive into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button below just so you can stay tuned as we wrap up this crazy season. Now, let's get started. So, during the last vote, Ben was the sole vote for Kenzie. And everybody online was just speculating that Kenzie was just the backup target just in case Venus saved herself. Right? And at first, I was actually kind of proud of Ben for putting his friendship aside in order to play the game, but that was until we found out that this was all just a slip of the brain.
I drew a blank.
You actually wrote
You wrote my name?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you right now.
Oh yeah, y'all need to talk.
Like, what do you mean you drew a blank? I'm sorry, if I was Kenzie, I would need a much better explanation than that, okay? I don't want to judge too much because I've never been in the state that Ben's in, but my God, girl. I definitely think this is a good outcome for Kenzie in the long run though, because her being the backup plan was the main reason why I was nervous for her game. Now I feel like she is a solid lock for the final three. We also see that Ben has still been struggling with his panic attacks and whatnot. But just like last time, even though we're talking about Ben's health here, the scene really revolves around Kenzie and her kindness and what a good person she is for helping out Ben. The show is just going out of their way to highlight Kenzie's fantastic social game. That's all I'm saying. Now, while Kenzie's out there being a social player, Charlie is being very strategic. He currently feels like he's playing the middle because he knows that his best shot is to take a swing at Moriah right now for his game, which I actually think is a good idea, especially since she's done a good job of making herself such a target. It's wild to me that Charlie isn't seen as a big threat out there yet though, which I guess speaks to his good social game too. The reward challenge this episode is pretty standard. There is a big physical competition with a maze puzzle at the end. And the outcome is pretty standard too, with Charlie taking home the win. But now he has the burden of choosing who will and will not receive their letters from home. In the end, he decides to leave his bestie Moriah out of the reward, which really guts her. But it turns out they already promised to never pick each other for the reward, which I actually think was a pretty smart plan. In fact, it's probably the little subtle stuff like that that prevented everybody from seeing them as a strong duo in the first place. Because we saw after Moriah picked Q for that pizza reward, it was pretty much over for her reputation after that. And it looks like Charlie learned from her mistake. The letters from home segment was pretty much how you would expect. It was really emotional with everybody doing the crying and whatnot. But the one thing that did really stand out to me was Charlie's segment in particular. He talked a lot about needing to blindside Moriah in order to win the game.
If I'm going to play to win, I'm going to be betraying Moriah, who I've played the whole game with. And those reminders to play to win are going to fuel me to the end of the game.
He got the foreshadowing here. He got the good music. I don't know. All I'm saying is this was a pretty good scene for Charlie. Meanwhile, everybody else who is not on the reward is going to take this time as an opportunity to go idol hunting. The search is ongoing for a while until freaking Q, of all people, finds the damn idol.
You just sit right there. Hold on, let me go in my pocket. What's in my pocket? It might be somehow. Oh, what's the matter? What's going on? Look what I found. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. This is a beautiful thing.
This was the last thing I was expecting to happen in this episode, really. Like, I wasn't expecting anybody to find it this late in the game, much less Q. Q teams up with Moriah here, and this is the first time we really start to hear Moriah target Charlie. I'm just glad she finally woke up because Charlie has been coming for her for a while now, okay? These two are now officially at war. I'm personally loving the drama, but of course, it's all gonna depend on who wins this next immunity. Now, this challenge is also pretty standard. There's a big obstacle course with a big ass puzzle at the end. You know the vibes. But this time, Moriah is able to pull out the win and secure consider herself her third individual immunity of the season, which is absolutely amazing. Lover or hater, I think it is awesome to see her crush physically and mentally these people that are way younger than her. I think it's awesome. So with Moriah out of the running, Q is the next one on the chopping block for most of the cast. Everybody's been tired of him out there, and it really feels like his time has been coming for a while now. Q has been my favorite person to watch this season by far, but his social game sucks, I can't deny. But of course, we know that he does have that idol, so he should be totally good for this vote. Right? Instead, Q and Moriah plan to vote out Charlie here, and they think that they have Kenzie and Liz on board with them. I thought this part was important because it shows that Maria's social game isn't nearly as adept as Charlie's is. She not only has the wrong read on the votes, but she goes as far as to tell Q not to play his idol at all, which is just so bold this late in the game. It's just an all-around sticky situation as this group heads off to tribal council. Now, the tribal itself was actually pretty tame for once. The only thing that really stood out to me was Kenzie comparing Charlie to the family dog, which just was not a good look.
Charlie's like our dependable dog. Like we have made like this family here.
It just says a lot about how Charlie is viewed overall by the other players. Stuff like this is small, but it's just also not a good look for a winner to me. The players all go off to vote, and for whatever reason, we're shown exactly who everybody is voting for. Nothing is left to the imagination as we see Q get the majority of the votes. So when he fails to play his idol, we already know his fate. With 4 votes, Q is the one voted out, and the look on Moriah's face is absolutely priceless. She just looks so shocked, so defeated, like she just saw her entire game crumble before her eyes. Now I'm guessing she is really gonna be in trouble heading into this next finale. With that, Q becomes the 5th person of the season to leave with an idol in their pocket, which is absolutely insane. But let's be honest, at this point, it is not surprising at all. It's just another Wednesday to us. So with all that said and done, it's still a toss-up between Kenzie and Charlie as the winner. I could honestly see both of them making it to the final tribals, but if I had to make one last winner prediction right now, I would still say that Kenzie will be the one to win. She's just gotten more of a personal and social edit throughout this whole season, which I think is a little bit more valuable than a strategic one. Plus, if it did come down to her and Charlie being in the finals together, I really do think that Kenzie would get more votes. It is definitely a close call though. Charlie is still very much in the running and he just had a really good episode. But of course, I want to know what you all think. Who do you think is going to be winning Survivor 46? Let me know in the comments below. This season has been an absolute thrill to watch so far. I thought this episode was actually pretty tame compared to a lot of the rest of them, but I have faith that this next finale is gonna bring the heat. Of course, I'll be back next week to wrap up this wild season with y'all, but until then, bye.